So I want to make a rant on solar balls since I have seen it and I know just how remotely bad it is, especially in its current state. Now, I don't mean any hate towards the creator of the show, but I'm just going to give some criticisms on why I hate it. So first of all, the endings of the arcs are so anticlimactic, like for example, both the Moon Revolution and the Planet X arc's endings felt very rushed and contrived. It did not make any sense in the Moon Revolution that Pluto and Charon were the ones to end the revolution even though it should have been the giant planets to end it since they are the main planets that the moons orbit around. And the Planet X arc's ending was much worse. It is literally just Proteus fucking yapping and throwing a tantrum for 10 seconds and yet that somehow makes Planet X redeem himself and leave the solar system, despite the fact that he barely knew Proteus and he's been wanting to take revenge on the solar system for billions of years after being ejected. Meaning that the ending made no sense whatsoever and was only contrived for the sake of Jupiter returning. I also hate that the show tries to make us sympathize for some rather unlikable characters. For example, Europa and Ganymede committed terrorism by attempting to almost end all life on Earth, turned the Moon Revolution from a simple protest strike to a full-on terrorism attack, and manipulated almost all of the moons to agree with their plan. So Titan had a right to not include them in the Moon Club. But somehow, every other moon, including Luna, Io, Callisto, Triton, Phobos and Deimos, the moons who were against Ganymede and Europa's horrendous plan, somehow see Titan as the unfair guy because he didn't want to include the two moons who committed terrorism into the Moon Club. Like how the fuck did Luna even somehow think Titan was being unfair despite that his planet was getting attacked by an army of moons? Europa and Ganymede should not be justified for their actions at all and yet they were somehow nicely welcomed back like nothing happened at all, and not to mention that after getting banished and returning they show absolutely no remorse for their actions. Also, nearly every arc focuses way too much on Earth. I get that he is the main character, but we should also be able to see other characters having arcs as well, such as Venus for example, since Earth already had 2 damn arcs. And the other characters also need more development, since there is a huge lack of character development, and characters like Mars barely receive screen time and just act as NPCs. They also butcher the characters for no reason, like Titania, who went from being a caring big sister to the other moons of Uranus to incredibly selfish, the infamous stunt comment from Mercury, in which is not like him at all because he along with Luna was the one who prevented Earth from committing suicide and made him redeem himself when he was heading to the sun, which it absolutely disgusted me so much and is a straight insult to Mercury's character. And Luna, when Earth was going through angst because of Ea, Luna got mad at him for no reason, meaning that he didn't even give a fuck about Earth's angst and only wanted to play cards. Another thing that made me lose interest in the show is that it focuses way too much on lore and serious topics even though it is supposed to be an educational show about astronomy. It used to be good back then with its short educational videos, but nowadays there are way too many arcs in the show and it's gotten to a point where the show is nowadays just boring and not even that educational. It's like watching a dramedy TV show or soap opera than a series about astronomical objects. Speaking of arcs, there are way too many of them, and there are also too many unnecessary cliffhangers in every single part of an arc. They could at least stop splitting the videos into parts and put all the parts into one big episode that would last mostly 15 up to 40 minutes. Even if they were to take longer to release, I feel that would be better because it can at least make the arcs go a bit faster and less slow-paced and it would also be a bit more quality over quantity, or at least shorten the number of parts to 2, and they should at least also bring back the educational short 2 to 3 minute videos on the channel as well, since the channel isn't even remotely that educational anymore, so there isn't any point of advertising it as such. With all these problems I listed, I overall used to like Solar Balls back then when it was making fun, short educational videos back in 2022 and 2023. But I nowadays feel like it is just a cash-grabbing content farm in its current state, and I lost interest in it because of that. So if you want to see educational solar system videos on YouTube that show actual planet balls, then I'd recommend to watch Astrocat or Colin, since their videos are actually more educational and watchable than the brain rot that is Solar Balls. This is all I have to say, so thank you for watching.